Hello, students. Today we are going to look at sense organ. What are sense organs? Sense organs are those organs of the human body which are very sensitive and specialized in function. Okay, the organs are very sensitive and specialized in function. Okay, they are specialized for some certain functions which we refer in the textbook as special senses. Okay, the topic here is sense organ. Okay, sense organ are those organs of the human body which are very sensitive and specialized in function. Okay, we have 5 sense organs. The 5 sense organs in the body include number 1, the skin, number 2, the eye, number 3, the ear, number 4, the nose, number 5, the tongue. These are the 5 sense organs in the human body. Okay, and like I said, they are specialized in function. The skin is specialized for touch. The eye is specialized for sight, or you can say vision. The ear is specialized for hearing. Nose is specialized for smell, or you can say odor. Tongue is specialized for taste. They are called special organs because no other part of the body can be very sensitive for this function. Okay, and these functionalities of the sense organ are regarded as special senses. Is a very important information that the body controls in order to contribute to existence. Okay, the touch, the sight, the hearing, the smell, and the taste. All these are the very special senses we have in the human body. And these special senses here on the board are controlled by the sense organ, which is the topic of today's class. Then in this video, we are only going to talk on the skin. What do you know about the skin? The skin is the outermost covering of the body, as we know, but the main thing I would like us to understand are the structures that makes up the skin and the functions of these structures. Okay, this is what we're going to look at in this video. Okay, now let's look at the skin. Okay, this is the typical diagram of the skin. This is the human skin. Okay, human skin is divided into 2 major parts. We have the outer part, then we have the inner part. This is the outer skin, and here is the inner skin. This is the inner skin, The outer skin here is known as epidermis. The outer skin is known as epidermis, while the inner skin is known as dermis. Okay, this is the outer skin, and this here is the inner skin. Do you understand? The outer at the outer surface, that is the epidermis, then the inner in the inner surface, which is known as the dermis. Okay. Now, like I said before, the most important thing you need here to understand very well is the structures that makes up the skin and its function. Okay, this outer surface of the skin here, which is the epidermis, comprises of the three layers. Okay, it comprises of the conified. This is the conified layer, and here is the Malpighian layer. This is the Malpighian layer. Then here is the granular layer. Okay. The conified layer here is made up of dead cells. Okay. It comprises of dead cells. Okay. We still have some dead cells here in the Malpighian layers. This layer here comprises of dead cells also, and the cell are most times much alive than that of the conified layer. The cells of the Malpighian layer here are much alive than that of the Malpighian. Okay. Then we have granular layer. Okay. Here it comprises of cells much alive than Malpighian and conified layer. Okay, it comprises of cells which are much alive than the Malpighian layers and the conified layers. Okay, now another thing you need to know for the case of this exam is that these parts, as I said, are part of the epidermis, right? These are the parts of the epidermis. We have some other content of the epidermis, which are melanin and keratin. Okay, the melanin here is the pigment. Some textbooks describe melanin to be a proteinous pigment, which gives the skin its dark coloration. Okay, most black people, every black people have more melanin. Okay, typical absence of melanin in human is referred to as albinism. Okay, so every black persons have melanin, and where we can find melanin in the body are the skin, the hair, and the eyeball. If you look at the eyeball, at the middle layer of the eye, we have the choroid. You know the choroid? So the choroid comprises of melanin, which is responsible for absorbing light rays. Okay, so that will prevent total internal reflection. Okay, here in the skin, the melanin absorbs light rays and prevent it from damaging the skin. Okay, if there is no melanin in the skin, it will damage the skin, and such will lead to skin cancer. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why albinos don't stay for a long time under the sun, because it inches their body, it damages the skin, damages the cells of the skin, and that leads to skin cancer. That is the function of melanin. It absorbs ultraviolet rays to avoid it from damaging the skin. That is, it prevents the ultraviolet rays from destroying the skin. Then, keratin here is a proteinous material, okay? It's a proteinous substance or component of the skin which is responsible for toughness and flexibility of the skin, okay? It's a proteinous component responsible for roughness, toughness, and flexibility. Okay? So responsible for roughness, toughness, and flexibility of the skin. Okay? Now, the epidermis also contains collagen fibers. Okay? It contains collagen fibers here in the skin. Now, that is all about the epidermis. All these are the components we have under the epidermis. Okay, that is to say, these are the components we have in the dermis, which is the inner layer of the skin. Okay, but I'm going to explain all the structures we have here in the skin. For example, here is the opening. This opening here is known as sweat. It's known as sweat pore. This is a sweat pore through which the skin excretes out sweat from the body. Then here is the sweat ducts. You can see the ducts. Here is the sweat ducts, which serve as a passage through which the sweat gland excretes sweat out from the body through the sweat pore. And here is the sweat gland that produces sweat. Okay, that is the gland in the skin that secretes sweat out from the skin. Then here is the fat cell. We have the fat cells. Then here is the blood vessels. Here is the blood vessels. Okay, which is responsible for supplying blood to the skin. Then here is the blood capillary. Blood capillary. The blood capillary here supply to the hair follicle. Here is the hair follicle. The hair follicle. All these we have in the past question. That is the exam past question. There is the hair follicle in which the hair is produced. Here is the hair. The outer surface of the hair is known as the hair shaft. Please don't play with this diagram. Okay? Exams are going to ask you questions based on the diagram we have here on the whiteboard. Don't play with them. Here is the hair, and the outer surface of the hair is known as the hair shaft. Then here is sebaceous gland. I will label it here. Sebaceous gland. This gland secretes an oil-like substance which is responsible for lubricating the skin. It's the oil-like substance, and this gland is mostly found on the skin of the face. Okay, that's why most time, especially in the morning, you used to see some oil-like substance in the face, and that is the sebaceous gland in the skin of the face that secretes the oil-like substance known as the sebum. Okay, secrete the oil-like substance known as sebum, which is for lubricating the skin. Lubricating the skin. Okay, sebaceous gland secrete the oil-like substance, which is sebum, and that is responsible for lubricating the skin. Okay, all right. Then the next we're going to look at here are the sense receptor. Okay, this is the heat sense receptor. Okay, it is very sensitive to heat. This is the receptor cells in the skin that is responsible for receiving information of heat. Okay, then this here is the pain. This is the pain sense receptor. Okay, the pain sense receptor is highly sensitive to pain, and this pain sense receptor is known as nociceptor. The pain sense receptor is known as nociceptor. Okay, then here is the touch sense receptor. Here is the touch sense receptor. Okay, this is a receptor that is highly sensitive to touch. You can call the touch sense receptor Meissner corpuscles. You can call it Meissner's corpuscle. Okay, the touch sense receptor is also known as Meissner's corpuscle. Then over to this one, we have the cold sense receptor. This is the cold sense receptor, which is sensitive to cold. It receives the information of cold, okay, in order to respond to weather. Okay, then here, these two here is pressure sense receptor. Okay, this is the pressure sense receptor, and this pressure sense receptor here is known as Pacinian corpuscle. It is known as Pacinian corpuscle. The pressure sense receptor, it is highly sensitive to pressure. Okay, then here is the erector muscle. This is erector muscle. Okay, erector muscle. The erector muscle here in the skin is responsible for elasticity of the skin. Okay, like I said before, these structures we have here are the components of the dermis, while the conifer layer, mammalian layer, granular layer are the structures we have in the epidermis. And the epidermis also comprises of melanin, keratin, and collagen fibers. Okay, and I say that collagen fibers are proteinous components. Okay, collagen fibers are part of the component. Okay, then I talk basically about the melanin, which is responsible for absorbing the ultraviolet rays and prevent it from damaging the cells of the skin. Okay, and if there is no melanin in the skin, it can result to damage of the skin. Okay, which I also say is skin cancer. And people that don't have melanin are albinos. Okay, most black people have melanin. Then keratin here is a proteinous component which is responsible for roughness, toughness, and flexibility of the skin. Okay, this on the board is all we have for now. In the next class, we're going to look at other sense organs, which are the eyes and the ear, including the tongue and nose. Okay, thank you and God bless you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.